Hi guys! Yes, we are in my room again and on my webcam again. My camera died and I didn't have time and excuses. Get your stuff together, Liz. First of all, I want to... That's thunder. First of all, I would like to apologize for having no video a couple weeks ago. That was not my intention. I did record a video. It just did not look very good. Like, this one's not going to look very good, but it'll look better than the last one. So, you know, whatever. So I decided I should probably re-record that video that I didn't upload. And it happens to be an installment of my favorite new thing that I'm doing on my channel, Sorted! So yeah, we haven't done one this month, but now we are, so yay! One of my favorite shows is Once Upon a Time, and it most recently came back on, and the new half season is pretty awesome, because Once Upon a Time is pretty awesome. Is it the best show? Heck no. But is it a lot of fun? You betcha. So I thought it would be fun to take a look at 10 characters and sort them into Hogwarts Houses. So this is Sorted Once Upon a Time. I have a randomizing app on my phone that will just take 10 names out of the plethora of characters from Once Upon a Time. So let's go. First is Snow White, aka Mary Margaret Blanchard. There you go. Snow White, aka Mary Margaret Blanchard. I feel kind of conflicted because I almost feel like Snow White and Mary Margaret are a little bit different from one another. If I could separate them, I would, but they are the same person, because I feel like Snow White might be in Gryffindor, whereas Mary Margaret might be in Hufflepuff. But I really like the version that they have of Snow White on the show, and I think she's really awesome and really kick butt and takes charge and doesn't let people do things for her, which is really awesome. And so I'm just gonna go with the Snow White side and put Snow White / Mary Margaret Blanchard into Gryffindor. Next, we have her husband, David, aka Prince Charming. What's so great about David is that he will do anything he can for the people he loves, and not just for the people he loves, he stands up for and just sticks up for what's right. He's a really good guy and a very loyal person, and he is also very fair. He is not afraid to listen to other people, and that's really cool. So therefore, I'm going to be putting David into Hufflepuff. My house! Puffies, yes. Next we have Zelena, aka the Wicked Witch of the West. She's a bad guy. Yeah. And what house do we put bad guys in? Everyone? Everyone? Yes. She's a Slytherin, let's be honest. She's completely self-serving. She's completely manipulative. She doesn't really have a good bone in her body. Not that Slytherins can't be good, because they can. One of my best friends, Brittany, is a Slytherin, and Snape was a Slytherin, so, you know, they can't all be bad, and they're not. But this one just happens to be bad. So I'm putting Zelena into Slytherin. Ooh. Next is Captain Hook, aka Killian Jones. What I really like about Once Upon a Time is that they take characters that we're familiar with and take them in completely different directions or completely different storylines than we would expect. A famous one being that Peter Pan is evil in Once Upon a Time. That was a nice twist. Another one being their treatment of Captain Hook. He started off as a good guy, became a bad guy, and now he's a good guy again. And he's also very handsome. He was a bad guy, and he still has, you know, a little bit of selfish tendencies. He's not a perfect person by any means, even though he's definitely more of a hero than he is a villain. He really only looks out for himself and the people he holds closest to his heart. He will throw people under the bus if he has to. He doesn't want to sometimes, but if it means him getting himself to safety or someone else he loves to safety, he's going to do it. And so for those reasons, I'm gonna be putting Captain Hook / Killian Jones into Slytherin. Next we have Henry Mills. Henry is a cute character, and he has gone through a lot. What I really like about him is that he has a huge imagination, and he has this insatiable curiosity that really leads him to believe in a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't think to believe in, which is basically the entire catalyst of the show. If it weren't for Henry believing in things that most people didn't, we wouldn't have Once Upon a Time. He's also really smart and really intellectual. Because he's so curious, because he kind of thinks out of the box, I'm putting Henry into Ravenclaw. Next, we have Regina Mills, Henry's adopted mother and Snow White's stepmother. This show's really complicated. Regina is another one of those cases of a person starting off as a villain and then becoming much more. She has always been really well developed, and now she's finally more of a hero than she is a villain, but she still has those villain-ish tendencies. She still is manipulative, and she is more of a person that is sometimes the ends do justify the means, and so she's not afraid to maybe pull some strings, manipulate a situation in order to get a good outcome rather than a bad one. But because she is rather sly and manipulative and still a little bit selfish, even though she's generally a good person, I'm still gonna be putting Regina Mills, aka the Evil Queen, into Slytherin. Next we have the hero of the show, Emma Swan, aka the Savior. Emma is probably one of the easier ones for me to look at and be like, yep, that's the house that she should be in. She's very brash, very, very courageous, and really headstrong. She has a tendency to go in without a plan, to just go with her gut, to just go head first when there could be maybe a better course of action, but she's so impulsive she doesn't think to actually think of a plan, which has gotten her in trouble before. So for those reasons, I am putting Emma Swan into Gryffindor. Next is Belle. Now, a lot of times, Once Upon a Time reinterprets characters from their Disney counterpart or fairy tale counterpart, and sometimes they interpret a character much more faithfully to their counterpart. Belle is one of those cases. Belle is a little bit different from the Belle in Beauty and the Beast, but they're not so different that I would sort them into different houses. As you may know, in my first sorted video, I sorted Belle into Ravenclaw, and I'm probably going to do the same here. Belle is very intellectual. She loves books. She loves to read. And she also is more of a tactician, say, versus Emma, who goes in headstrong. Belle likes to devise a plan. She likes to have things laid out in front of her, and she doesn't want to go into a situation unprepared. And that's really smart. Therefore, I am putting Belle from Once Upon a Time in Ravenclaw. Next we have Robin Hood, another good-looking gent from Once Upon a Time. Let's be honest, most of the men in Once Upon a Time are really good-looking. He is so brave, so courageous, and really, really honorable. He is willing to sacrifice his own happiness to be with someone that he may not even have strong feelings for just because they might be married. He has a really high sense of justice, and he's not afraid to, do what it takes to see that justice is gone through, which is the whole, Robin Hood shtick. So for those reasons, I'm putting Robin Hood into Gryffindor. Lastly, we have Mr. Gold, aka Rumpelstiltskin. This show is going weird places with Rumple. He is still one of my favorite characters in the show, and he's probably one of the characters with the most background and the most development. Even with all the development that he's gone through, he is still very much a master manipulator. He's very manipulative and very self-serving and really prideful. He will sacrifice other people's happiness or other people's well-being just to have what he wants. And he will stop at nothing to get what he wants. So he's very ambitious. Even when he's at his lowest, he still finds a way to crawl back up there, even when it might be more interesting to have him at the bottom for a while. Show! For those reasons, I am sorting Mr. Gold / Rumpelstiltskin into Slytherin. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully next week will not be on the webcam nor in my messy room. And I will see you guys next week. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And bye! Watch Once Upon a Time this Sunday at 8 on ABC. Yay! Bye! Mwah.